The issue of winding and what winding is very important in the German longsword schools. There are a variety of different interpretations, most of which I feel are not as effective as implied by the manuscript. For instance, here is one. If our blades are bound, if I thrust, a lot of people do a thrust, a wind like this, right? Or like that. Now, I find that most of the times the blades are in a position where the points are a little bit higher, and then I have to pull back to thrust. I see a lot of people doing that. Or they have to pull back here to thrust. And it just doesn't work. It takes too much time, and the upper only simply takes off or puts pressure on and hits you. Right? Meyer, however, does define his windings in a different way. He defines them as a set of short edge cuts to the face. And not only does he define them in those ways, he also gives several long examples showing how the winding can be used. I'm going to start by showing you one of these sequences. But first of all, before I show you the winding sequence, I need to define one other thing. A hanging guard is a guard where you go up and catch the blade like this. Right? You catch the blade on your forte, and from these positions, you need to immediately wind. And for me, a wind is like that. You turn your short edge into his blade and round and strike at his head. Right? And Meyer gives a very long detailed sequence looking at the interaction of hanging and winding. And this is how this the first of these sequences goes. So, there is a nice, brilliant young Schnitzler, and I am standing down at elbow, he attacks, and I defend with a hanging guard. Right? You can think of this hanging guard, by the way, is very similar to Meyer's Brachfenster, which is just about there. So wherever you are below his blade, and your point is not on the line, you are in a hanging guard. Okay? So, primary idea of what you're going to do from a hanging guard is to immediately wind. And this would work like this. He attacks, you take it there, you wind. You wind. Let's do this with a bit of pace. It is a very, very fast move. If you look at it very slowly, I take that, I wind it off, I move my head out, and I strike him. Preferably to the head. So, very simple, very fast. Obviously, if his blade does not land on my forte, I can't do that. That's not too much of a worry. Right? Right, I'm sorry, wrong one. If you just let your blade slide off the line, I can go somewhere else. Alright? So from a hanging guard, either his blade is deflected off to one side, or his blade is on my forte. It's on my forte, I wind. Okay? So the winding action in this one is there. Meyer says to take your head out to the left and to strike. Right. Now, there are a couple of advisors that go with this particular hanging device. First one, if he sees you going up for a hanging guard, I'm not threatening him, so he doesn't have to let the blade land. He can quite happily simply go off and attack somewhere else. And Meyer defines what's happening there. All I do, I go up, I swivel round, I catch on my hanging guard again. So I've got two hanging guards here. Right? So, from here I wind my sword over and I hit him on the head. There's two potential ways I can hit him from there. Come, put your blade down. I can hit him with this short edge there, and then with the short edge again. Then, what happens if the person is not hard? He hits the wind and then starts to move back. Right? What do? I slice. Very simple. So goes, I slice. So if we do that in the full sequence, and he's going to attack somewhere else. Right? And I slice. And once more. And I slice. Right? So, if he is hard, I wind. If he is soft, I slice. If he takes off, I swivel and catch it on my hanging and then hit him with another wind. So if you do those from the other angle, right, so he attacks, he's hard, I wind. Again, wind. Right. If he sees my blade going up and go attack somewhere else, and I protect myself that way. And once again, right. And if he is soft, I wind, I slice. Okay. So those are the basic actions. And they need to be coupled with one other use of the slice. Here's the thing about any form of winding, and Meyer repeats it often. If you wind, you make your one side of your body open. If you take a look at this, I'm here, I wind. There's absolutely no protection on my right side. All he has to do is move his sword off and strike. So, I go there, and he strikes. Ow. Painful. So what is done here, and this conforms with other things, is the moment you feel the pressure going off your sword, you immediately turn your long edge down and you slice his blade to the side. So I'm here, I slice down, I snap up at him. Right? Again with a little bit of pace, and I slice there. So in the winding I'm completely safe, provided I do not let his blade leave mine. So again he comes in, and I strike him up there. And again. Sorry, good hard. Right? So that is the winding from the hanging guard. Okay? And this winding must be used, the same principles should be used from the other side as well. And in this case, we are dealing with a position called the lower hanging, which is very similar to flute, and it's a position every sword fighter gets into regularly. So he attacks, I block, and we've got into this position. Right. Now, there are two types of winding here.